What would you do if I told you that right now you could stop the leading cause of preventable death in the world? Would you do it? If given the chance, would you take the opportunity to save over 6 million lives every year for as long as the earth turns? Let's make this a little more interesting. What would you do if I told you that that number, 6 million people, would turn into 8 million people you could save by the year 2030? Interested yet? In the United States alone, you could be saving over 500,000 lives. That would be stopping 1 in every 5 deaths. If you weren't listening already, do I have your attention now? This scenario is completely plausible. It's something that we as a nation could do tomorrow and instantly make progress on saving lives of thousands of Americans. This cause of death that I speak of is not cancer, drunk driving, gun violence, or heart failure, though not to minimize any of those problems. The cause of death that I speak of is none other than smoking cigarettes. Far too many people in this nation succumb to the urge to smoke, and it is literally killing people by the thousands. Though many know the health risks, we still allow this practice to go on in public places and businesses open to the general public. My name is Michael Lupo, and I propose that smoking should be banned from restaurants in all 50 states as well as public parks and buildings. First, I'd like to look at the harm that smoking causes to the smoker as we consider restaurants and public places. Like I started previously, smoking is the leading cause of preventable death in the world. Worldwide, tobacco use results in nearly 6 million deaths per year. Scientists at the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, have inferred that given the current trends, the number will reach 8 million lives by the year 2030. In the United States alone, 1,300 people die every single day from cigarette smoking. On average, a smoker dies 10 years before non-smokers. I presume that all of you listening to this video are over the age of 10, so I want you to think about the last 10 years of your life. For many of you, like myself, that would have included starting middle school, high school, and even your college career. Think of the massive accomplishments that you have made in the last 10 years. That's a lot of time to do some incredible things. Let's not let that time be cut short for Americans because they picked a bad and costly habit. Though one does not die at the moment they pick up a cigarette, there are many startling effects that are associated with smoking regularly. More than 16 million Americans today live with a disease that is caused by smoking. For every person who dies of smoking, there are at least 30 people who live with a serious disease that's related to smoking. As if the death toll wasn't high enough, smoking causes lots of different diseases. According to the CDC, it is known to cause cancer, heart disease, stroke, lung diseases, diabetes, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, including emphysema and chronic bronchitis. It increases the risk for coronary heart disease by 2 to 4 times, increases the risk for stroke by 2 to 4 times, and also increases the risk for lung cancer by over 25 times. For those of you who aren't worried about the effects because you don't smoke and you don't know anyone so you don't get secondhand smoke, there are other serious things that you should consider. Nearly $170 billion in direct medical care for adults is part of the toll of smoking, as well as more than $156 billion in lost productivity because of premature death and exposure to secondhand smoke. Your tax dollars are being spent to fund this venture, and with the push for a socialized system of healthcare in the United States, you will no doubt be paying for the poor choices of others around you. However, that's a debate for a different day. If smoking only harmed the smoker, we wouldn't have such a problem. If the choice to smoke only affected the one picking up the cigarette, I would personally be in favor of I would not be in favor of a smoking ban. There would be no need to limit someone from making a personal decision that doesn't affect anyone else. Unfortunately, this is not the case for smoking cigarettes. In the United States alone, it is estimated that 41,000 deaths result from exposure to secondhand smoke. Smoking can cause preterm delivery for children, stillbirth, low birth weight, sudden infant death syndrome, and orofacial clefts in infants. Jack Rutherford of the Richmond Register had some wise words to say in regard to health effects of the secondhand smoke. He says, and I quote, "Unlike other self-indulgent behaviors like eating fast food or drinking alcohol in public, secondhand smoke is not singularly linked to the participant. The negative effects of smoking in public carry over to other people's lives with a tangible, measurable, and sometimes permanent impact. Whereas eating fast food for every meal and excessive alcohol consumption is likely harmful to the individual, the negative impact on others is minimal, unquote. Secondhand smoke in restaurants directly affects other people who choose to eat at the same restaurant. The danger is simply too huge to ignore, and we cannot allow this type of thing to happen when it puts innocent men, women, and children at risk. Though it is a personal choice for people to smoke cigarettes, waste their money, and shorten their lives, the solution does lie in banning smoking from restaurants and public places. Though many states, including Michigan, have already banned smoking from restaurants, there are still 16 states in the U.S. that have not banned smoking in restaurants and bars. There has been great success at the local and state level of government in protecting U.S. population from public smoke. It has been found that approximately 62.5% of the U.S. population is free of public smoke because of the local and state laws. I suggest that each state mandates a smoking ban in public places and restaurants. The ban in public places would lead to a healthier workplace where workers can enjoy fresh, clean air free from the risk of pollutants that come from cigarettes. Lingering smoking odors could be removed. Restaurants would retain more value and risk less depreciation of their property because facilities will be overall cleaner. A good example of this would be to think of car depreciation. No one wants to buy a car that's been smoked in, especially not a non-smoker. I know I wouldn't want to buy one. Cars are worth less after they've been smoked in. The same principle for restaurants it's the same. I want you to take time to think about your next vacation to a perfect island resort. You have the entire island to yourself, save the staff that caters to your every need there. How does the beach look? When you get there, you find out that there are cigarette butts scattered all over the sand, along with other forms of litter. This litter was left from the last group of people who used the island. Now let's say that the island mandates a public smoking ban. Voila! No more cigarette butts on the beautiful white sand. The restaurants are clean, and you can enjoy the smell of sizzling meat on the grill instead of that stale cigarette smoke. This is a dream worth fighting for. This is a dream worth creating policy for. While the public smoking ban would inevitably save innocent people from inhaling toxins, there is also a hidden benefit for smokers. The ban will make it more difficult for smokers to smoke their cigarettes, hopefully leading to some of them giving up smoking altogether. This would be really great for the smokers because the CDC reports that after 2 to 5 years, a smoker's health can go back to that of a non-smoker. This, more than anything, could save the lives of thousands of Americans. Though the opposition may tell you that it's a matter of personal choice and liberty, when it puts other people at risk in such a real way, the choice has to be forfeited. We have laws in place for a reason. Though someone might consciously make the decision to steal someone else's car, we cannot protect that personal choice because it takes away freedom and liberty from someone else. The same is true of smoking in public places. If the smoke is taking off time from someone else's life, we need to get rid of the public smoking. Class, this is an important issue. You have heard today how smoking negatively affects the lives of smokers. It increases the risk for far too many life-threatening diseases and cuts the smoker's life short by 10 years or more. Non-smokers in public areas and at restaurants are at risk due to the secondhand smoke. Please call your local representatives. Get involved in the movement towards a smoke-free world. Together, we can save lives. Thank you. And this is my audience. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.